Das schauen wir uns jetzt als nächstes an. CS2 Grenade Skins, Leaked Inferno Remake, Mods Clothing Operation Counter-Strike 2. Und
Hey everyone.
rein da.
Hey everyone, Max at the microphone again, and today I'm gonna talk about all the new and future updates in the outgoing CSGO and the upcoming CS2. So let's start with the most obvious one. The developers have finally added the ability to inspect grenades at the press of a button. It works exactly the same way as knives. There is one basic animation and a rare one. When your character does all kinds of tricks with tossing a frag grenade or some weird shakes of an incendiary. The animations themselves probably don't mean anything. But it's important to note that before adding full-fledged support for skins.
Also ich find's auch nicht schlecht, ne? Also ich glaube nicht, dass ich jetzt regelmäßig rumrennen werde und werde meine Granate inspekten. Für den Zeus wird's, also das ist ja schon confirmed, weil du auch schon Skins einreichen kannst für den Zeus. Also es wird Zeus-Skins geben. Bei Granaten glaube ich noch nicht dran. Aber halt, warum halt auch nicht, ne? Also das Einzige, was man jetzt nicht inspekten kann, ist die Bombe, aber ich finde das ganz cool. So, du bist so, weiß nicht, so One-on-One auf das 2. Du bist A-Spot, du weißt, der Letzte kommt in Retake kurz und du callst jetzt, der kriegt jetzt einen Kobe und du fütterst die Granate nochmal an. Du hast so deine Granate in der Hand und sagst so, Leute, Mates, guck mal, wie ich dem jetzt gebe. Ich schüttel meine Granate nochmal ordentlich durch, damit die richtig schön knallt und dann raus das Ding. Ist halt, finde ich eigentlich ganz cool.
Und so
auch wenn das natürlich effektiv keinen Effekt hat, aber können halt auch witzige Szenen raus entstehen.
With the release of CS2, the developers added a possibility of inspecting it.
Oder hier, ich glaube, es gibt ja auch eine Animation, wo der die so flippt, ne? So, wenn du dann B-Rush gehst, Röder und ich auf B. So, Double Nade 2 ins Mate, zack. Und 5 Leute weg. Ist geiler mit einer Animation vorher.
And if you've seen my previous video, you're probably already aware of the fact that inactive equipment and grenade slots in the loadout interface have absolutely identical code to the slots for weapons, agents, gloves, knives, music kits, and other cosmetics. Therefore, the items in these slots can be replaced by dragging and dropping with other items from your inventory. Then again, the question remains. Will these be new types of grenades such as the tripwire that we have already found in the files? Or will it be skins on grenades like the multicolored smokes that we also found in the files? Honestly, right now I'm thinking that the grenade skins don't make any sense. After all, it's not a proper weapon that you'll be using for the whole round. It's a one-time item that you hold for a few seconds and literally throw away. But at the same time, Zeus, also a single-shot weapon, is rarely used in competitive. And if the developers decided to make skins for it, then why not try the same for grenades? It is worth mentioning that 6 years ago the developers have already experimented with grenade skins and new types of grenades. At that time, a grenade called Sonic Smoke appeared in the game's files. But the strangest part is that this grenade had all the existing music kits somehow.
Sonic Smoke, ja. Ich meine, es gibt ja auch hier in diesen Custom Game Modes, die wir in der Operation hatten. Wo du diese Mission hast. Da gab es ja auch diese Tactical Awareness Grenades, heißen die, glaube ich. Diese blauen, die dir dann einen Wallhack durch die Wand geben. Die kamen ja auch in der Zwischenzeit mal im Rahmen der Operations. Aber was ist ein Sonic Smoke? Das höre ich zum ersten Mal.
It's still not very clear how it was supposed to work, but according to the speculation from the community, it could be a different kind of smoke grenade, which upon activation silences all the sounds around it and plays the music from the selected kit instead. But what we will end up seeing in the new game is still a mystery. In addition to the grenade stuff, the first type of customization on Legends has also appeared. Almost all the characters in the Elite faction wear glasses, and in this update appeared a mysterious customization folder which contains the material for the mountain glasses. At the moment, all the glass materials for all the agents in the Elite faction are baked into each agent's head separately. And here definitely a preparation for some kind of modular system in the future. The most obvious assumption is that they could make the color of the glass optional and you'd be able to choose from several variants. Developers have been working on different character customization options for a while, all the way up to full body parts and clothing, which I talked about in one of my last videos. So they could start with something smaller like colors for glasses or skins for shoes and end up with Stat Trek.
Also weiß nicht, also Schuhe fände ich ja noch okay, wenn du die siehst, so, also weil die siehst ja auch nicht immer. Also Schuhe wäre schon krank, wenn wir Schuhskins bekommen, weil man jetzt seine Beine sieht. Aber ich hoffe, dass sie nicht sowas machen. Hier, Water Cannon. Oder irgendeine Puppe auf dem Rücken. Also da glaube ich aber auch nicht. Ich glaube nicht, dass sie so abbrechen.
Adidas sweatpants. Speaking of weird updates, for the first time in the Counter-Strike
Augenfarben.
files appeared eye material with a brown pupil. At the moment, all eyes in the game are a static part of the character's head meshes. In other words, all agencies' eyeballs are a creepy and static imitation of what real eyes should look like. In all Valve games starting with the second Half-Life, the eyes are a separate moving element of all live characters. And the appearance of this feature in CS2 may hint at the addition of full-fledged story cutscenes in future operations or better and more detailed
Ja,
agents.
das wäre cool.
And good news for those who can choose a favorite skin on a particular weapon. The developers are working on a system of favorite skins where you can add weapons to the favorites category. And instead of choosing one skin in one slot, you can select the entire group of favorites at once. At the moment the system doesn't fully work, but
Da hat mir letztens auch jemand gesagt im Stream, dass das in CSGO auch gibt. Das wusste ich nicht. Dass du eine Skin-Rotation haben kannst, wenn du mehrere hast. Das war mir neu, aber ja, why not? Ist eigentlich auch ein ganz gutes Feature.
I have a feeling that it'll be similar to Shuffle from CSGO, just a little bit more selective. If we unlock the hidden shaders, we can see that the developers are already preparing to support Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2.0 upscaling, or simply put, FSR2. At the moment, the new Counter-Strike only supports the first version, and it's worse than FSR2 in absolutely everything. Even at ultra quality, you'll have much lower FPS and much worse image output. FSR2 is already supported in another popular Valve game which runs on the same Source 2 engine. This upscaling works on Nvidia graphics cards as well, so all users with weak computers will benefit from it. And as the last proof, Counter-Strike 2 is mentioned on the waiting list for this technology on the official AMD website. As I suggested in the last video, the new map in the limited beta was in fact Nuke, but the developers broke the pattern and also added Office. It is important to note that along with the Office, the developers also added both Casual mode and Hostage mode. So we can assume that with each next update we will see more and more content, so they will try to release the game this summer. In the last update there were hints that the developers were preparing a training mode and various tips for beginners. As a little practice, newbies will be invited to play a competitive game against bots, during which tutorial tips will appear. In addition, the developers are still working on porting Danger Zone to Source 2. And along with the mentions in code, we already have new shaders and in-game entities. Of course, it's not the highest priority, but it would be just silly to not use all the advantages of the new engine for some major update in this game mode. I honestly hope that Danger Zone will get proper attention from the community in Counter-Strike 2, because previously this game mode suffered a lot due to the limitations of old engine.
Richtig, aber eigentlich ist er geil. Allein, dass du mit dem Movement so viel machen kannst und so. Danger Zone ist geil zum Spielen. Wenn du hunderttausende Stunden hast, normales Matchmaking in der Danger Zone, jetzt auch nach bestimmt 1000 Stunden Danger Zone, die ich habe, da passiert immer irgendwas. Ne, 1000 Stunden nicht. Wie viele habe ich realistisch? 400 Stunden bestimmt. Aber es passiert immer irgendwas Neues.
Going back to the topic of maps,
gut zu sehen, dass
I can release a separate hour-long video essay about new PBR textures or run around and leak every visual improvement, but I won't do that. As you can see for yourself that everything looks really nice and beautiful. I'm particularly pleased with the new shader and particles for the glass, which is extremely pleasant to break, and the ability to barricade yourself with the vending machines on Office. And let's finally discuss the leaked screenshots of the Inferno remake. Every time the developers compile a map at maximum settings, it automatically generates several screenshots which are used on the loading screens. And these screenshots are the ones that appeared with.
Ja, haben wir uns ja auch auf Twitter schon angeschaut die Tage, aber vielleicht haben es auf YouTube auch noch nicht alle gesehen oder jetzt im Stream. Inferno Leaks, A-Spot.
Screens. And these.
Short. Guck mal hier, die Mauer ist weg, also du kannst nicht mehr hier hiden. Natürlich zum Retaken deutlich leichter. Die Position habe ich aber auch gehasst, auch wenn ich Teppich rausgegangen bin und einer stand hier. Also ich finde, ich brauche die Mauer nicht. Da bin ich eigentlich ganz froh, ehrlich gesagt, dass das jetzt offen ist. Aber sonst optisch ist das eine Lecke.
These screenshots are the ones that
oh. Hier auch. Das sieht so anders aus. Also Overpass sah näher an der CSGO-Version aus als das hier. Also du erkennst natürlich klar, dass es noch die gleiche Map ist, aber ganz, ganz andere Blöcke und Texturen und so, aber ich find's geil.
With the big update.
Und das war der Screenshot, wo ich dachte, Alter, wo ist das? Da hab ich überlegt, Alter, wo ist denn das? Das ist aber Ruine. Hier ist CT-Spawn. Du kommst hier rein und hier geht's Richtung Garten. Also wir haben keine Ruine mehr, wir haben eine komplett intakte Kirche. Das sieht so anders aus. Aber sieht cool aus. Hast hier auch keine Kiste mehr, wo du drauf hüpfen kannst. Vielleicht kannst du auf dem Stuhl stehen, keine Ahnung.
Despite the fact that the main part
Second Mid, den sehe ich sogar gerade auch zum ersten Mal, den Screenshot. Second Mid vom Balkon. Auch anders. Sieht irgendwie schmaler aus, die Brücke, oder?
of the locations have been already done and likely
T-Spawn, hier ist auch kein Zaun mehr.
to remain as is, it should be noted that this is not the final version and most likely the developers will continue to make small changes. Judging by the screenshots, the map lacks color correction, post-processing and 3D skybox with buildings. So the overall map vibe may significantly change closer to the release. Unfortunately, just the day after the update, the developers changed the logic behind the generation of these screenshots and removed all the files that shouldn't be in the public version of the game. So this is the first and last time when we got screenshots of the future map in such good quality.
Okay, okay. Nachher nicht verkacken, ja, alles geben. Ja, bei was? Bei was, Warte.
Speaking of leaks, in the last video I told you about
here
how the
Mirage.
developers left an early prototype of the Mirage remake in the game's files. Thanks to the fact that they used assets from Half-Life Alyx, a good friend of mine, John Freeman, managed to recreate almost the original version of what it was supposed to look like. And even looking at my version with the great depth textures from the last video, it was clear that the developers were aiming for the Eastern Europe.
Ist doch Besuch, habe ich gehört. Ja, von Francis Dad, aber den haben wir ja auch schon dreimal getroffen.
However, after putting all the necessary assets in place, it's obvious that they wanted to recreate the vibe from the Half-Life universe. It's important to note that this piece of map was compiled back in 2021 and is most likely just a visual experiment. So it's not a fact that a future Mirage remake will look exactly like this. Especially considering that the developers of Counter-Strike 2 are trying to make all the locations as
Also das wird safe auch noch abgeblockt. Du kannst dann hier vielleicht noch stehen, aber da wird man nicht hochsteigen können. Da wird es dann einen Player-Clip geben.
bright as possible, and this part is pretty dark. Unfortunately, over the entire lifetime of CSGO, the development of any mods has become more and more complicated. Developers have purposely shut down any opportunities to modify the game, as unfair players have used them in order to gain advantages and create cheats. However, based on the findings in this update, we can assume that this situation may be about to end. For several years in various Valve games on Source 2, there have been strings mentioning something called polls. Some people thought it was a new game, some thought it was some kind of AI system for bots, but in fact it turned out to be something much better. Pulse is Valve's analog of the blueprint system from the Unreal Engine. So it's a separate tool for visual node-based programming that utilizes two languages, TypeScript and JavaScript, both versions 8. Someone from the Counter-Strike developers called it vscript 2 for an unknown reason, but in fact there is nothing really left of vscript from CSGO besides the name. At this point, the developers are already using the system for the in-game logic, and all scripts have .vts, .vgs, and .vpulse extensions. But most importantly, they have started to recreate the most basic game modes based on this tool, like Wingman. And there are already entities with .vpulse files on the new nuke. Visually, it could look identical to another official Valve tool called Anim Graph, since Pulse can use similar graphic libraries for rendering node elements. If the developers get everything right, we can expect a real reborn of modding in Counter-Strike, as custom game modes in Dota 2 are attracting millions of users who don't play official matchmaking at all.
Das wäre geil. Ne, einfach so Custom Game Modes machen könntest. Oh, du könntest so viel machen, ey. Überlegt euch doch mal hier CTX und wie sie alle heißen. Und Mikal, die ganzen krassen Custom Maps, die gemacht haben. Was da schon in CSGO machbar war. Ich glaube, das wird, so Community-Kram wird auch nochmal insane in CS2.
Leave a comment with a meat emoji if you watched this far and check out my previous video where I talk about new weapons and
Okay, auch interessant. Wieder ein paar neue Sachen gelernt. Das war das nächste Video vom Gabe-Follower. Mal gucken, wann das nächste kommt. Auch wieder sehr, 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 sehr cool gewesen. Mal schauen, was die Tage kommt. Ich glaube, wir werden keine 2 Wochen warten müssen, bis irgendwas Neues Fettes in CS2 im Limited-Test passiert.